Market's attempting a rebound today, but the bounce may have failed a little bit as spiders Dow and Russell have turned negative, while the Nasdaq was able to eke out a 73-cent gain on the triple Qs. A couple of interesting dynamics here today that we'll discuss, as well as a bunch of other things here. But first of all, we have a nice little Monday here, return from the weekend, and again a little rebound. Some of the fears from the weekend not really coming to fruition, although it does look like things are slowly kind of escalating. There was some talk from Rubio this morning about how they were open to de-escalation. It got walked back. Again, headlines, narratives, whatever. What matters is what price is doing. And the Qs finished up 10 cents. Oil did sell a little bit in the overnight. You can see here we gapped up, we sold off. That's when Rubio started talking or mentioned that. Then it rebounded, and we came back up here, and it finished flat to positive. So oil did eke out a gain as well. And you can see we're right into that 85 handle there on crude futures. But just critical levels we got to look at on the semiconductors. And going into tomorrow here, what are we gonna see here? I'm starting to kind of look at this the structure morph a little bit. I was just saying this to members here, but like we kind of had this wedge type pattern here. It's just been traded through a lot. So we kind of gapped through it here, and we didn't really. I mean, we could probably draw it a little bit tighter there. I mean, like you could argue that you hit it here, you hit it here, you back tested it there, you kind of back tested it there. But we're just trading through it now. It's not really respecting it, so I'm not going to respect it. So that's the market's way of telling us just to move on from that. And we're just watching the structure morph. Here's your clear resistance here at 75.80, we'll call it. And by extension, 7,600, of course. That's kind of just by extension, though. And then you've got the upsloping trend line here that just really goes back to the June low. So that is potentially in play should we see some more downside here. But the critical level we're going to be looking at here is really on the semiconductors, SMH here. And it's really simple. One of the things that I noticed that jumped out at me immediately today, and I only saw one other person point this out all day long, but well, just start with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin was green, Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, and it was strong all day. And if we look at sectors here, SMH, IGV, XLK, XLC, whatever. But your tech was strong today, right? So it was the big story lately, right? The story while we were rallying is that there wasn't enough breadth for the market, and then the story now is that the breadth doesn't matter because semis are too important, right? So it's just kind of this cherry-picked argument. But nonetheless, my point is, semis and cloud and mags were all green today. So traditionally, those things are all positively correlated. Lately, they have not been, right, because correlation is so destroyed at the moment here. So that jumps out at me. So tech was still, still managed to eke out a gain, and for what it's worth, the S&P did not take out yesterday's low and didn't even really test it. But it was definitely weak into the close. It definitely was a sell all day long, and we definitely lost the 700 on QQQ, which was support all day. We actually traded through it a bunch of times here today, and it was a very good level that worked until it didn't, and worked out pretty nicely all day. Although I did get back some profit at the end of the day on that last little dip there, which again, speaking of, I can give you the levels as you guys know, but I can't not give you the entry, the exit, and the risk management in real time. That's what we do every morning at 8:45 on our show, What's Moving Markets. Links in the description there. Come join us tomorrow morning. And if you want to be in the trading room, that's on carnivoretrades.com. We've got a sale going on for the rest of the month. Got about 10 days left on that. Links in the comments there. Anyways, NQ here, kind of, soft at the close, right? And we're right at the 695 area now on the triple Qs, which is essentially filling the gap. By the way, we didn't fill this gap by about 10 cents, technically. So the close was at 706 and change. We got to 705.80. But, very close to this gap as well here. I'm going to just say right now, we'll talk about this right here. I've already got it marked on ES. I'm very interested in the low from the 8th of July. And on Friday, I actually kind of complained about this, the fact that we didn't pierce that. And I think a lot of that having to do with, being the options X. Sometimes the levels get close on those days and they just won't get there quite. I really wanted to see 740 SPY hit, and we didn't get there. So we may have some unfinished business there in the overnight, so keep an eye out for that. If this level does go, though, there's, I'll say this, there's definitely some air. Really between here and, honestly, like 7,400, area this is on the E-mini. That said, I know it looks like a bear flag, and it is a pretty good back test. Like, that's a picture perfect back test there. But I'll just be watching, if we are down tomorrow, watch, the RSI here. Do we put in a little bit of a divergence there in the overnight? So, I'm kind of watching that level keenly. But again, moreover than anything else, is the semiconductors, right? And that's always been the case. But really, if you're a bull, you just want to see a failed pattern here. It's that simple. And honestly, I mean, you could call it 575 if you want 580. I would just say a close above Thursday's high would probably do it. And the SMH, in case you're not aware, it's notorious for doing this. It's notorious for doing this exact thing. And I can go out. I mean, the stock's got a beautiful falling wedge there too. But we can go look at 100, happened 100 times before. I mean, it happened on Nvidia in 2024, I think. This is a very common, right? There's your head and shoulder. It worked out for about a day, and then it went and tripled from there. But semis are notorious for this, so just be aware. I was hoping we would flush out more on Friday. We just didn't get that. And I wouldn't even be against a little bit more of a flush, but we'll watch this ascending triangle here. Again, you got the higher lows and the equal high. So inside of this range, there's still, from a technical standpoint, this is still a bullish structure. But we'll see how the NASDAQ firms up versus the S&P, should we continue to decline. Does IGV, does SMH continue to outperform? Does Bitcoin outperform here? And we'll cover that at the end as always. But, and again, like people fall in love with trend lines too, but, we could break this trend line, go to 7,300, trap it, and then just, I've seen that happen plenty of times as well. So again, don't fall in love with everything, take everything one step at a time here. But yeah, I mean, that 7,400 handles down there. And there are a lot of, I'll just give you a preview here. There's definitely some hedges down the downside tomorrow. But with this being so early in a fresh OPEX cycle, it doesn't, the dealer's just going to hedge however it hedges. So if we get positive news in the overnight, these will all go away. But there is some tail events tail action down there. Another thing too, and again, I'm just kind of giving both sides here, pros and cons. But Wednesday is VIX-piration. That's a fresh VIX cycle. A lot of the time when we start to sell before that, it kind of gets front ran a little bit and it kind of goes the other way. So I'm giving you a lot of variables here, and there's also variables in the form of Google and Tesla earnings on Wednesday, and Intel. Now, Intel's big enough now that they matter again. So they're on Thursday too. So a lot to go on here. And again, take it one step at a time, but we'll be watching these correlations here as they continue to morph and unfold. The Russell was weak here. So the only index that was green was Qs. So I don't find that insignificant. Cloud also, just in general, was very strong here. I mean, it only finished up 18 cents, but versus the market, that was very strong. Microsoft, Palantir had good action here. CRM had a good rebound here. A lot of these things have been gapping down lately and closing higher, as opposed to previously they would gap up and just fail. So we're seeing some of these leaders. I actually like Oracle as well here, around 120. Just big levels. I mean, look how beaten this thing is. This is into the basement here. And it hasn't had more than a 3-day bounce on the whole way down. So, Cloud's still attractive here. The transport's down a little bit on the day, so retracing some of last Thursday's gain. TLT got hit. I'm not sure if that's ready to break 84 quite yet, but it is down here, and that's something that's putting pressure on the tape, of course, and that's affecting XHB. That's why I don't like XHB here. I like IYR a lot better, because IYR is a lot more resilient historically versus higher rates. One other thing too, I also want to point out while we're talking about rates, just remember that higher rates does not mean the stocks crash. It's rate of change, and they are going up. But if it's a slow climb, things can surprise you. But rates are up here. That's putting pressure on the market. Yes, the dollar yen. Don't worry, I didn't forget. Dollar yen here up 7 basis points. So no changes there. That's still trending higher. And the higher it goes, the more attractive it is. At face value, I suppose. But we'll find out what Japan's pain point is. But as I've said, I think a lot of this already unwound. or at least the market started to get ahead of it. So anyway, jumping all over the place here, but XLF down 22 cents, KRE down 1%, and then XHP had a rebound. We mentioned oil. We'll see how it acts at resistance here. There is resistance at 85. If it gets through that 130 USO, I believe is your kind of big right tail for the week, but we'll see. XLE had a decent day, although it came off the highs by the end. I drew kind of this like X marks the spot here on this. So that was the old wedge that broke bear. All right, back up there would probably be heavy resistance, right? You'd have all these pivots, and you got that X marks the spot area. XOP down, and OIH down in a day where oil was up big. So what does that say? Heck, even, oil was up 1%, on news, and the only sector that was green was tech. That usually never happens. Anyway, what else? Dollar index, that caught a bid, came off the highs. Still trying to flag here, right? So you can make a case this is a bull flag. Just remember there are still there's a lot of positioning here that's long. Here's probably the most interesting thing of the day here, and I'm not sure what it means just yet, but gold was flat. Dollar was up, and silver was up. Well, I don't want to say big. It was actually up 1.5% at one point, but this is up big relative to gold. It's still up 0.5% here. And that's with gold flat and the dollar up. We don't see that very often. So maybe silver's telling us something here. But I still like these if they get one more little drop in them. PL, uneventful here. Pattern trend is still down. Same with PA. And then copper had a nice rebound after a gap lower. Lastly, there's the Ethereum there. That looks pretty good here still. But BTC, was green all day. It's green all day. And it's also trading back positively with software. Remember, everybody talked about that, right? So software up all day. Look at the pattern. Sold a little bit in the afternoon. You had a little bit of a MOC dump there at the end. I wouldn't freak out about that, but the pattern here was about the same, right? SMH was a little different. It gapped up, sold all day, but closed green. And then you had SPY kind of same, but Bitcoin and software are starting to get that positive correlation back. And Bitcoin's starting to curl up here after hours too. So we'll see if this can finally get going. I do like it. Got a bull inside. That inverse head and shoulders is alive here. So it tried to slice it last, Friday, but it closed green, and it just back tested it here today. So we'll see if that gets going here. 69 is your upside if it does. So anyways, we'll see what we get tomorrow. Should be interesting. There could be some error, though. I do think there is some unfinished business at that pivot low, and it looks like we're starting to get down there potentially pretty soon. I'd be shocked if it doesn't get swept in the overnight at least. So anyways, guys, we'll wrap it up here. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.